guys, Heather, so crazy for sure. It is 6:45 in the morning and we're already on the road and have been for quite some time already, about an hour and a half. Thought I would give an update since it's been 2 weeks since we left my house. We're actually on the way back home now. And I promised that I would upload a few videos that I had already saved, and that I would take video of my craft bazaar while I was there. Long story short, it got really chaotic, and it never happened. I think starting, a week ago Sunday, as soon as my head hit the pillow, there wasn't anything until my son woke us up in the morning. Just that, from feet hit the ground running in the morning, basically. I currently have, as you can see back in the corner there, I currently have a sleeping child in the back seat. My daughter is up in front of us in the truck with my husband, the log truck. And there's no flash. This ended up being a one-way trip for him. He just wasn't eating without an appetite stimulant, and it wasn't fair to him, and it wasn't fair to me. And even my vet said, she said, I can run thousands and thousands, $10,000 worth of tests, and she said, I'm not sure I could give you an answer as to why he's not eating. And even if I could, I think the only solution is what we're doing now. So we went through all the paperwork. We made sure that everything was documented, so that way she wouldn't get in trouble, because we're talking, this is a 5-year-old animal, and that's not something that they do. But he doesn't hurt anymore, so that's important. The kids really haven't asked about him. I think my daughter knows. She's extremely smart, and when we were at home making final preparations, and I was, had to talk to the vet on the phone, or was talking to friends or family or whatnot, because of course they were all asking about Flash. I used the term, it's a one-way trip. And Tuesday night, as we were climbing into bed, it was really late because my husband and I kind of made an emergency trip up to see family, more family. We ended up almost at the Canadian border. And so we got home late, and so of course we got into bed late with the kids. And the only thing my daughter said is, I just miss Flashy. And we responded, I do too, honey. And that was it. She hasn't said anything. She hasn't asked. So I think she knows. She knows she hasn't seen him. But that's all. The reason she's in my husband's truck and not in here with me is because we're all afraid that she would ask where he's at while we're in the truck, or while we're in the car. And it's not a question I am prepared to answer while I'm trying to drive down the road, basically. So she's with my husband, and that way she won't notice that he's not in the car with us, which is fine. But back to happier things. The Craft Bazaar went really, really well. I ended up having 95 vendors, and I really do have the best vendors. I mean, they're awesome. We all had a great time. Those little snowballs I was making, I had like 25 different packs or something like that. Sold them all. And I have orders for 5 more. Shocked me. But okay, so I'm making more snowballs because in theory we have another big event coming up here at Christmas time. So I want to make sure I have a bunch going for that. Sorry, I still have a few tears leaking out. But yes, the bazaar was, it got kind of crazy. Just trying to get everything set up and situated, and of course, you know, my luck, the kids ended up with snotty noses, so trying to deal with a cold on top of that. I just never got around to filming or uploading anything. I was just too tired. Still pretty tired. It'll be the weekend before I finally recover. The only big thing we had happen during the bazaar was we had a lost child. And this is one of the reasons I say I have the best vendors. From the time he was separated from his mother to the time he found somebody with a name badge on, so that way it was an official person, so he looked like, you know, we looked like we were safe. To the time they called me, I got to where he was at, and we got him back to his mom, was about 2 minutes. So I really can't argue with that, because that's incredibly fast. That's, you know, my vendors are that good. They all have my phone number, and he came up to somebody, they found out what was wrong, and they called me. I was at the other end of the building. When the phone rang, I could hear somebody sniffling in the background, and I heard them, you know, somebody tell them, "It's okay, we're calling somebody to come help find your mom." And by the time they actually said, "Heather," you know, I was already running, dead run, to where they were at to get him. By the time they hung up the phone with me, they saw me rounding the corner into the aisle where they were at, and they were like, "Holy moly, that was fast." That's my job. So it was very happy. He was 5 or 6 years old. We got him back to mom, commended him, told him how brave he was, told mom how good he was, and that she did a good job with him because he found somebody official, not just a random stranger. He found, I mean, yes, we were all strangers, but he found one of us, you know, found a badge, so we looked official. And so she was really proud of him too. So yeah, it's been kind of crazy and chaotic the past few months in my immediate family and my husband's immediate family. There have been 3 people, all over the age of 60, that have ended up in the hospital for at least one night from stuff going on. My mom has been in there a couple of times. My husband's mom, my mother-in-law, has been in there at least once. My uncle, my dad's brother, who's the only person we deal with in his family because sometimes it's healthier not to. He was in a couple of times, and his wife and I have been trying to arrange since Thanksgiving to meet up while I was in town. And he ended up in the hospital, and then he ended up in surgery, and with everything that had been going on with everybody else, it was one of those, I need to physically put my hands on him and touch him to reassure myself that he's okay. So that's how we ended up going up to his house on Tuesday instead of coming home. And we got back so late Tuesday night that we decided we're going to wait one more day before we head home. So that's why we're headed home today. It's Thursday. I have eyeballs. Yeah, maybe just a little bit. Yeah, I see it, bud. You want this? So yeah, that's what's been going on. Hopefully in the next couple of days I'll have my sewing room, well, not my sewing room, it's the guest room. It's where I make my Peekaboo envelopes and that kind of thing. I'm hoping I'll have that put back together here in the next couple of days. I can get going back on those again. And I've got to start making snowballs. I'll start tomorrow morning. I usually only make 3 a day. I might have to pop it up to 6 to get my 5 orders out. The good news is it's for my vendors, so they know that it's not going to be fast. I told them, I said, I don't make them really fast, and they all know I have other ones that I have to make. They all know I have other orders for them. But I will get them done as fast as I can and continue on. I've been listing stuff on Etsy. I haven't been daily like would be my plan ideally, but I have been getting stuff listed on Etsy as I go. I had quite a few orders while we were gone. Luckily I brought all my stuff with me so that way I could fill the orders and get them shipped off. But I do have some stuff that I can photograph and get listed on there some more. So, but welcome to another day in my life. This is kind of normal for me, unfortunately. But it is what it is. We're going and can keep going, and made some money. The fuel bill's not quite as bad as we were expecting, but it's still not pretty. But hopefully, with the money that I made, I'll be able to do some cash stuffing with that. I have to pull out everything in my cash box and put it back into like my 100 envelope challenge, because that's kind of what I used to start my cash box. But there's so much more in there now that it's crazy. Personally, at the bazaar, I made about $350. So there's that much more to go into it. Plus my pay for doing the bazaar. That will go in there as well. So I'm hoping that we'll have some. And then my Etsy shop, that paycheck hits, I think, next week, maybe Monday. So that will hit, and it's I don't even know how much it is off the top of my head. So I'll have to look at that and get that figured out, see how much is going to get deposited, so that way I can do that. But I'm hoping I can get other things, get my budget worked out. I've got a bunch of receipts I need to add in, a bunch of stuff to go into my stuff to scan into Fetch, get my points for that. But normal stuff. Like I said, I'm hoping to be back up to normal by Monday or Tuesday of next week, so that way I can get back in the swing of things. I think my husband's going to go get his next load on Monday, so he'll be back Tuesday night, Tuesday afternoon. And then he'll probably go up again on Thursday and get another load and come down on Friday. He might even dump Friday. I don't know how he wants to work that, but that's up to him. It'll be easier for him to do stuff like that with us down at home, because it's we'll get to see him mid rotation instead of only at one end. But we've heard rumor that there's going to be some loads going south from us, and usually they send us because we're the farthest one south and it's easier. But it also depends on where the load's going, because a couple of the guys have sleepers on their truck. We call them turtles, because they carry their house on their back. So if they go a hugely long distance from where we are, usually the turtles get it, because the rest of us have to find motel rooms that have truck parking to accommodate that. So but we'll find out. I mean, we did get a little bit of a raise because the fuel went up so high. They're working on getting us another one because fuel went up. But even if they give us the standard raise of $200 a load, which is what they usually give us, it's still going to put us under where we should be, which means it's over 1/3 of our cost for fuel. So it'll be a lot closer than it is now. We've made the decision. We traded an engine and a transmission for a truck, because the guys we run with are looking to do the same thing we're doing, trying to get a little bit better fuel mileage. One of them has a perfectly good transmission in his truck, but if he puts the transmission that we have, which is a brand new rebuild, it's never even been in, it will lower his RPMs, engine revolutions, and therefore it will increase his fuel mileage. And they blew up a truck engine, and we had the piece that they needed on the engine. It's the engine block itself. We had that extra engine. We had been pulling parts off of it for 5 or 6 years now, if not a little longer. Whenever we needed to fix our truck and it had the parts that we needed, we took those parts off. And the part that they needed is that excuse me, I kind of bit my tongue. It's the engine block, and we haven't needed that. So for the engine block and the transmission, they are giving us a semi truck, and for about $10,000, they're going to do what we need done on it for us because they build trucks as well. We need to make it a little bit longer, and we're going to do something called a non-steerable drop axle. The drop axle is the one that lifts up and goes down. You know, if it's loaded, it's down on the ground running, and then if the truck's empty, it's lifted up, so that way you don't have the tires on the ground, which decreases your rolling resistance. This truck is what we call a single screw, means it only has one axle in the back instead of two, and we are going to put that non-steerable lift axle on it, so when we have the load on, it becomes a regular truck, you know, because the axle will be on the ground. And then when we don't have a load on it, we'll pick that axle up, and it will cut down on rolling resistance on the ground. We're going to put big fat wide tires on it, which will again decrease rolling resistance on the ground. With everything we're doing to it, it's going to be stripped down absolutely as light as it possibly can get, which is what log trucks typically are anyway. But this is going to be our summer running truck. It's not going to have any tire chains on it. It's not going to have any of the stuff, you know, the little bit heavier stuff that we have for winter. It's, you know, it's going to be the summer running truck. All gone. So it's going to be, you know, our summer running truck, and we're hoping to increase the fuel mileage, as silly as this sounds, by 1 mile per gallon. And if we do that, my husband, who runs 230 gallons on one round with one load, we think it'll drop him down to about 186 gallons, 190 gallons, something like that, which that's 40 gallons. That's a lot, especially when it's over $5 a gallon. We figure if we did that and we only got that 1 mile more a gallon, we ran the math out on it, and we would save enough money in fuel at the price it is now in 1 month to make our house payment. So that helps us come up with a little bit extra money right there. And we're hoping to have that going. We would like to have it going by the end of April, but I'm not sure how feasible that is, but it will be rocking and rolling for summer. That's the plan. So yeah, welcome to my life. Things change on a daily basis. If you're lucky. If you're not lucky, they change like by the hour. We're very good at adjusting on the fly and keeping going. We got word that Heidi the horse does get to come down to Nevada, and the place where she's going to be at is going to use her as a lesson horse to help offset the cost of board, because she desperately needs a horse that she can trust little kids with. And Mr. in the back seat there was on her at Christopher at like 6 months old. So we don't have to worry about how she's going to be with toddlers, because we already know. I'm going to have to pull over and move that, because that's not going to work for me. So yeah, I'll be doing another trip here in a few weeks to go get Heidi. I'll be borrowing my dad's pickup, and I'll load up the hay that I have left in his pickup and hook up to the horse trailer, bring her down dump her off, dump the hay, and come back up with my dad's truck and dump it off and get whatever rig, probably this, and go back home. And that'll take me about 5 days to do. I figure I'll go up early, be there around noon, get my dad's pickup, get all the hay loaded into it, get everything set up and ready, and then the next morning hook up to the trailer loader, come down to the house, unload Heidi, maybe wait till the next morning to unload the hay, and then head back up here to continue on. Head back north to take the horse trailer back, because it's my cousin's I'll be borrowing, and then take the horse trailer back and my dad's pickup back, and then head back home. Yeah, I know, buddy. So, all right, guys, have fun. I'll get this uploaded, and we'll keep on going and hope I can get some more videos, get the ones that I have recorded, edited, and posted for you, and we'll keep going from there. Bye.